Hi guys, Cash Brown back again. Hope you're having a fantastic day or night, depending on where you live. So this originally was supposed to be a short because I need to start doing shorts because it's a whole thing, right? If you don't do shorts, YouTube punishes you. They don't like that. So this was going to be a short, and I've attempted to make it a short a couple of times already, but I've got too much to say about this, so it's not going to be a short. It's just going to be a very short video. So I have watched this video. And it's so frustrating. I think a video like this, I am going to pause it pretty regularly, and I know some people don't like that. But I just have too much to say to this woman. Yeah, and if I let it go for too long, I'm going to forget what I'm going to say, and it's a whole thing, right? So we are going to watch this very quickly. It's going to be a shorter video. But before we watch this amazing video, can I ask that if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please consider subscribing. Your support helps me make these videos. And we now have channel memberships. There's 3 different tiers. You get a bunch of different cool stuff. And I think channel memberships is less about, oh, look at these cool badges I'm getting, and look at these, I'm getting comment preferences and stuff like that. It's less about that and more about supporting the channel. The more you guys support me, the more time I can spend making videos like this. So no pressure, but if you do want to support the channel, it's an amazing way to do so. Otherwise, let's watch this video. Prepare yourself to be frustrated because it's a frustrating one.
They took down my video response to this last night. So let me calm down.
Just straight away pausing it. I wonder why. And you're going to hear something that she says that I'm pretty sure would have contributed to the video being taken down. But I don't know, man. If your video gets taken down, maybe reconsider what you say in it.
Relax. Your ignorance is the prime example as to why you and the rest of the albino parasites that think like you are getting done.
You can't, how can you even be mad at that level of stupidity? I feel like I more pity her than I am annoyed at her, and I am quite annoyed at her. How can you say your ignorance and then immediately follow that with albino parasites?
Fail to realize the wrongdoings of your ancestors.
I'm going to pause it again. I'm so sorry. I told you it was going to be like this. So this is the thing, and you okay, so I'm Indigenous, right? I'm half Indigenous. So my mum was from England, which is how you explain my incredibly fair skin. And my dad is black. So I have one side of my family is very dark, very black, very dark. And you know what? A lot of them buy into this kind of thing. And I used to for the longest time because it's what I used to hear. And it's this, white people need to make up for things that happened hundreds of years ago, and they don't understand what their ancestors did to our ancestors, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, sorry, my phone went off. It's like, dude, everybody understands. And unless you're an absolute piece of crap, most white people think what happened hundreds of years ago was awful. But what on earth do you expect them to do? No one has a time machine. Nobody can go back and undo the things that were done. And it's not like... Why am I getting so many messages? And it's not like these things only happen to Indigenous people of Australia and Indigenous people of America. That type of stuff happened everywhere, all the time, to white people as well. So while, yes, it's awful, it's terrible, the things that happened hundreds of years ago. It's bad, it's horrible, the things that happened to my ancestors and, the Indigenous people of America's ancestors. But you've got to get to a point where you make a decision. Am I going to be a victim? Am I going to let things that happened hundreds of years ago to ancestors that I didn't know? Am I going to let that impact the rest of my life? Am I going to keep, being a victim and thinking that white people are out to get me? And I did think like that for a really long time. I thought that everybody who looked at me funny because I'm Aboriginal. I thought that if I went into a shop and I got a bad look, or they followed me around the store, it was because of racism. And maybe sometimes it is. But I think it's more like when I had that outlook, I attracted that type of attention, I think. When you go into situations where you're expecting and you're stereotyping people because you think they're going to stereotype you, it's going to cause a problem. You're almost inviting that kind of energy. I feel like you've got to get to a point where you just move on. You accept that bad things happened. They did happen. They will continue to happen. Bad things will happen in the future. But you've just got to move on. Stop being a victim. It's hurting nobody more than it's hurting yourself.
This thing, not all white people. Because Because there's some beautiful people out here of the Caucasus descent that have realized where they come from and what their people have done.
Again, like, all white people realize what their people have done. I don't think there are many, like, I'm sure there are some white people who have no idea about history, but every white person that I've ever come across knows the things that have happened. They're aware of it. What I'm hearing there is more, oh, there are some good white people. The good white people are those who give in and accept what I'm saying, and the good white people are those who bow down to me. All of the other ones are horrible. They're terrible.
And are actively being allies and working to heal the generational trauma.
Heal the generational trauma. It frustrates me so much. My brain is melting. It frustrates me so much. They are being allies and they're actively trying to heal the generational trauma. So you expect them to heal your trauma. You are going to have a miserable life, girl. That is not how you do things. Nobody can do anything for you. I am not impacted by intergenerational trauma. I was raised by my parents. They influenced me. I was raised by, external influences in my school and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like I'm a relatively intelligent person, and no part of my life, my upbringing, anything to do with me has anything to do with intergenerational trauma. And this is another thing that I hear people in my family talking about. Oh, it's intergenerational trauma, because this thing happened to this person 100 years ago, and then they raised their child, and their child raised their child, and because of this, somehow we have intergenerational trauma. Like, look at the world we live in. So I'm Australian, and I have a lot of American viewers, but I think you guys can kind of relate to what I'm saying, right? Look at the country I live in. Look at the opportunities I am given. Like, I have a very expensive, well, not very expensive, but a relatively expensive microphone here. I'm talking into a camera. I have a computer. I have a big TV. Like, I live in a home. I have so much amazing things in my life. And again, there was a time that I just focused on the negative and, oh, woe is me. If it wasn't for racism, I would live in a mansion. Like, dude, the fact that, like, we have phones, we have the internet. Like, I couldn't exist without my computer and without Wi-Fi. Like, if anything, I am very, very privileged. And I know that there are people out there who would be like, oh, well, you're privileged because of your white side of your family. Somehow that has influenced you. It's like, well, no, because I wasn't raised by my white side of my family. I was raised exclusively by my father because my mum died when I was a kid. So I was raised only by the indigenous side of the family. So, yeah, but that's the thing. I can look around me and I can appreciate the things that I've got. But there are always going to be people like this out there who are like, intergenerational trauma. You need to bow down to me because of the things that happened hundreds of years ago to people that I never met and are not aware. She doesn't know these people. She doesn't know the stories of these people. She knows nothing about these people. All she knows is that some other black person somewhere said intergenerational trauma, and she thought, that's a great excuse. I'm going to use that one. And I'm sorry, but that is just facts.
That was put on your people. Oh yeah, you don't know? You don't know? You're traumatized too. Your people didn't only condition and enslave my people, but they conditioned and enslaved their own people as well.
Yeah.
And until white people come together as a collective and realize that they have generational trauma that they need to fucking heal as well, it's where are we gonna go? Your ignorance is a bliss that people like you choose to be in.
Ignorance is a bliss that you choose to be in. What on earth does that mean? Anyway, that is the end of the video. I will never ever stop being frustrated with people like this because I know that they have no thoughts of their own, and I know that they're just kind of regurgitating things that they've heard from other people like them. And I know that because I used to do the exact same thing. So not like you need to be a rocket scientist to understand this, but I feel like I'm in a bit of a unique position because I have believed this stuff before, and I have thought that my life would be so much better if, there wasn't so much racism around me. There's racism everywhere. And I believed it. And because I believed it, I saw it even when there was none. When I stopped thinking that racism was everywhere and everyone's out to get me, funnily enough, people seemed nicer to me. I didn't see it anywhere near as much. And I think that's because I was projecting. I was projecting because I heard from family members and the media and, you know, everywhere. I heard that white people were incredibly racist and they hated black people and that they wanted to kill us and they wanted to hurt us. And she is doing exactly what I used to do, but I grew out of it. I became more educated, and I learned a thing or two. And I truly hope that this girl does as well, because this has got to be one of the hardest videos I've watched in a little while. I think, like, not only is what she's saying absolute rubbish, not only is she being incredibly racist while complaining about how racist white people are to her, even though she called white people albino parasites. Not only that, but I think it's the attitude that I am superior and I know everything and I'm imparting this wisdom onto you. It's just hard to watch. It's frustrating. It's really cringy. I don't like to use that word because I think it sounds a bit, you know, silly, but it's cringy. It's hard to watch. But all right, you guys, I'm going to end the video there. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support means the absolute world to me and helps me out a lot. Otherwise, you guys, as always, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.